what is what is the most difficult? What have you found to be as a dad and as writing about being a dad, maybe even as observing your wife Sam as a mother? What is or what are the most difficult things that you find about being a parent, and how does what you've just written help solve them?
There's a bunch. I mean, I don't think there's anything that I would say, where I really crush it as a parent, it's like here, right? Like I don't think there's many parents that think that they're crushing it, unfortunately, because we're all sort of hopelessly outmatched. But a couple areas where I particularly struggle. I find that it's very hard to give your kids what you didn't get, right? If you grew up poor and then you made a lot of money, it's easier to give your kids money. I'm talking more like, if you didn't have extremely loving or patient or fun parents, right, to pick three random traits, it's hard to be patient or fun or loving, because not only did you take from your parents that perhaps you weren't worthy of those things, but you never actually saw how to do those, right? So I think it's very hard to give what you didn't get. But the struggle there is, because you didn't get it, you know how fucking important it is, right? Like, so the thing that you wanted the most, you are the most ill-equipped to give to your children. And so I really struggle with just sort of constantly reminding myself, hey, like, this thing meant a lot to you as a kid. How do you make sure that you show up and do that for your kids? So giving what you didn't get. I think in a world of devices and noise and distractions, like being present, which I would essentially say is a synonym with good parenting. Like being present and being a good parent are the same thing, right? Or at least it is impossible to be a good parent and not be present, right? Like, if you are not where you are, if you're not with your kids when you're with your kids, it's hard to do a good job. So I think being present when you have this, thing that's buzzing, when you have a million demands on your time, it's very hard to be present for me. And so that's something I have to be very intentional about, um, leaving your phone in the other room, setting boundaries. I think that's all, that's something that I definitely struggle with a lot. And then the third thing that I think about a lot, and again, it's hard depending on how you grew up, but like, I have never once gotten frustrated or lost my temper with my kids, or honestly with anyone, and then afterwards, either immediately or later, been like, I'm so glad that I did that. Right? Like, you're always like, what? Why did I care so much about that? Or like, how embarrassing that was. And so, one of the big themes of the Stoics, and that one of the things I feel like is a constant battle in my life, is just, you know, not losing your temper, being in command of yourself emotionally. That's, all these things are easier said than done. And so again, just hoping that you'll magically get better at those things is naive, and I think just insufficient. So what are the practices? What are the reminders? What's the sort of ongoing conversation for each of us that allows us to get not magically perfect at those things, but a little better every day?